friends, welcome to this class. So we're going to paint this box. It is a winter scene and I would like to create some snow effect there as well. So I have this masking fluid here, an old brush I don't care about. So I'm going to quickly mix the masking there, shake the bottle and apply it just a little bit over the face. It doesn't have to be exactly the same spots like we see in the reference. Just to give an idea that there's some snow. And yes, there's some over the whiskers, but in order to do that, I would have to draw probably the whiskers first. So I'm just gonna play with it later. Once I add the color, or all the colors, the first wash toward the fox, then I will see the masking right away. All right, I'm going to let this to dry. Oh, that's not gonna take long. I added such a small amount of masking. So let's begin wetting the paper. So this is my flat 40 brush, Raczynska. And yes, we are also wetting the eyes and everything, basically the entire paper. So just to let you know, I have a lot of water on the paper and I'm fine with it because in the meantime, I decided to dilute these colors with water. So that's my indigo, follow blue. I have imidazolone yellow, iso yellow, burnt sienna, Van Dyke brown, quinacridone red, raw sienna with some gold. What is that gold that I'm using? Now I'm going to continue wetting the paper for another couple minutes, and then once I feel like there's enough water, which I do feel actually now because the paper is buckling quite a bit, so I feel like this is the time for me to start applying colors wet on wet. Now I really want the paint at first to spread, not crazy spread. I want to have control, but enough like so the paint spreads, so it's not like sitting in one area, because that would be more like a heavy cream-like ratio. So more of these colors with some more red, iso yellow, basically all the yellows I have. But you can see how I'm grabbing colors. I'm not trying to like mix them on the palette. Instead, I'm just grabbing them and watching how the colors will separate. I want to grab a little more of just the yellow. This is not a clean brush. This is why I suggest having a larger palette, because you have this room to play with colors, to test the colors actually on your palette before you reach to here, to your painting, to your paper. So whatever I feel like the shades of yellow, that's where I'm applying that yellow. This is too yellowish, like yellow. So I need some more of the maybe raw sienna, maybe quinacridone red. And now I'm going to quickly grab this blue. I am not using in this painting cobalt blue, which is my typical blue. I decided that this feels more like a indigo, maybe phthalo blue, and that's what I'm using here. And then quinacridone red. So this is a little too blue violet, so I got rid of some of that, but I need to have some shade of that to show that this is white, and I need more water with this. And I'm actually gonna go here too, just because this is kind of like bluish. This is like the first stage is kind of like mapping all the areas, so I know where I'm going to place the yellows, the yellow tones, and then we have the blue for the nose, for example. And let's see, all this fur. So we have all this fur, and now blue, all these blues, yeah, and yellow too now with that pink. So all these colors plus some yellow, and I'm just gonna add a little more here. This is not the area that I'm gonna really focus on. It's just that I don't want this spot to dry too fast, because now I'm gonna focus entirely here. So I'm going for like mid-tones. Midtones. What are the midtones, right? Whenever you test a new color, so you have a swatch of a color. I'm just grabbing the same colors. You do swatches of that color, right? But then it depends on how much water you add to that paint. It determines if it's a what value of that paint. So you can go with a very light value of that one color, or you can go with the darker values. So it's the same thing when you have a blend of a lot of colors together. So now I'm going for these mid-tones. So I'm grabbing a little heavier paint. It's more like milk to half and half like ratio. It is a flat brush. I chose to paint with this brush because I have more coverage. and I am in a hurry because I know how much time I have, right? What do I have? 10 more minutes to play with a maybe half and half like ratio or heavy cream, and then I have to go to cream top because then everything is too dry, like it becomes damp, right? So if I want to continue adding colors, I just need to keep moving quickly, cover more area in a way, keep things wet longer. But I'm going to also switch in a second to and use my long quill, say 4, not 2 but 4. So wiping my brush first on a towel a little bit, and now I'm going to grab the same colors I've been using. It's kind of a combination of everything now, but I'm going to go for these, whatever you see, the midtones, and I need to focus like on where the face expression, of course, but here, like these parts, the areas around the eye are much richer. So that's why I'm kind of like positioning my brush and trying to get the most out of that color, kind of turning my brush like this, whenever I can get the pointy part. There you go. And just pulling the paint just to make sure I have enough color here. A lot of times I will stand up too, just to see the overall picture. And at this point, I feel like I need to start adding, I'm gonna grab a little more yellow, but like the regular, the imidazolone yellow, which is my primary yellow. But I feel like I need to start grabbing heavy cream. And that's for the darkest parts, which is like the ends of the ears, like the end of the ear here and here. And a little more brownish, I'd say, maybe Van Dyke brown and the browns, or the orange like that I created with the yellow and red, and go right around the eye, because that is the richest area. I'm gonna grab a little bit of yellow with that too. Yellow, blue, red basically, but mostly the indigo and phthalo blue. And I'm gonna go right here. This is the darker part. I'm not gonna paint the nose yet. I'll focus on that later. But here, with that damp brush, I'm adding some more darks. I do need to come back here. This is definitely need to be darker. I'm gonna grab more of that. So damp brush, yellow, blue, reds. It feels like this, basically. And this is the area that needs to be darker. And then I'm gonna lift the colors for the hair as well. So I'm trying to grab this thicker paint. I'm in a hurry because this is drying and I didn't add enough darks. Right in here, one of the areas. And then this is where I need the darks because of the contrast. So this is for the contrast. This is like the last stage when I can still add color wet on wet. So that to create these darker lines, need more water here. Sometimes the cream top is not really working well because it's too thick, so I have to dilute it more with water. But this is the darker parts. These are the darker parts. If I have to re-wet it, I will, and I'm thinking now already that I might have to. This is a quite large painting overall. And then we do have like these eyes. And it's like, what's more important, working here now or going back toward the ears? I feel like after I add a couple strokes here, I do have to go back toward the ears. So like here. And you know what I need to do is lift the colors, because this is like the last minute where I can lift the colors. A little more of these browns here. I'm trying to make it a little darker so it stands out, because otherwise it's a little too light, I feel like. Yeah, this is definitely getting really dry here. All right, I'm gonna clean the brush and take care of this lifting colors. I'm going to give it a rest, walk away from it, let it dry, and when I come back, that's when I can decide if I really want that second layer. It might be beneficial, but I just kind of have to walk away from it because I also have bright lights above me, so everything feels very bright here, and as soon as I turn off the lights, it just doesn't look that bright anymore, and it feels okay, like the tones are not that light. So for now, I'm gonna walk away from this and let it dry.